It's empowering,
inspiring, and thought-provoking conversations.
It's the Queendom State of Mind.
With your host,
April,
Brooke, and Tawanda. Welcome. Hey, listeners. Welcome to another episode of the Queendom State of Mind. Today we have a special guest. Y'all, I love when we have guests in.
Yeah, me too.
Because I feel like it opens up the conversation. We get, different perspectives. Like, they always be listening to us kiki, right?
We stay kiki.
But when you bring someone else in, it gives a different perspective. So today we have on the show with us Nicole Valmont.
Yes.
Okay. AKA my baby sister, okay? AKA educator. So she is an educator in our public school system.
Yes.
And has been for over
This is year 21.
21 years.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
And look at all the, like, you 17, okay? Like, how you was teaching before you was born, okay?
Wow.
21 years.
Wow.
That's a calling right there.
That really is.
It is.
Yeah. Ooh. And I remember when we were thinking about our different topics and what we wanted to talk about, and we was thinking about, I can't remember how we came up with this, but we was talking something about these kids and social media, and we was like, well, how teachers, I said, yeah, because my sister a teacher, and she be having stories about these kids and blah, blah, blah. And we was like, you know what, we should probably do a segment on that, because when we look at the landscape of society today and how social media plays a big part in it, it's not only parents that are struggling to be able to deal with this, it's teachers. Also. So, Nicole, welcome to the Queendom State of Mind.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Just to touch on what you just said, it's not even just social media too. And I teach first grade, so I'm feeling it with the games and everything else. So I always feel like I'm competing with their games and stuff. I have to do crazy stuff just to keep their attention. I have to stay relevant. I have to learn the language that they speak, the lingo, whatever it is. And when I say things, I get their attention. They're like, where you get that from, Miss Valmont? You got that shock, but I have to stay relevant to them in order for them to even hear me. So it is challenging.
Do you still do headstands?
You know what's funny?
Wow.
Because, she used to do headstands.
Yes,
exactly.
I would bribe my kids to do whatever it is that I needed them to do, and I would tell them if they did it, I would stand on my head.
Wow.
Right? So
Really?
So it's so funny because February came, and the beginning of February, I said, if I don't like tying shoes. I don't. I'm sorry. That's just one of my things. So sometimes they'll come to you like, my shoe, and I'll tie, and there's something wet on it. So
you don't know what that is.
Exactly. Is it? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't like tying shoes.
Oh, I didn't even think about it like that. If it's something wet.
Yeah, you be like,
especially the boys.
Yeah. Oh, my
know they dirty.
Right.
So you don't know what it is. So when February rolled around, I was like, all right, guys, if everybody, I'm not talking about Velcro straps, everybody has to learn how to tie their shoes.
That's a great one.
So I said, if you learn by the end of the month, I'll stand on my head. They was like, for real? I was like, yeah. I said, I'll do. They got excited about it, but it didn't happen because we had a family emergency and everything that kind of threw the end of my month off. So somebody did, like last week, they said, Miss Valmont, you still gonna stand on your head? So I'm like, okay, I gotta bring it back. But that is a life skill that I want them to learn before they leave me. Because they can't walk around asking people to tie their shoes.
Not in the first
grade. That's a life, that's not even a skill that we normally teach in school, but it's a life skill that they need. And those are some things that I'm not teaching just academics to my students. I'm not, I'm it's a lot of character building. Right. I realize everybody doesn't come from the same kind of household. So I find myself often having small conversations with them to try and teach them how to treat each other. One of the things was a little girl came and she was like, I gave her an eraser and she gave it to so-and-so. And I'm like, that made you upset? She was like, yeah. So I had to talk to them. When someone gives you something, they thought enough of you to give it to you. You can't take it and give it to somebody else. So it's like just little character things. You know, as we get older, if somebody gives us something, it's not good to give a gift away to somebody else. You know, sometimes we re-gift stuff at Christmas, you know, but they need to know, right, that's not an acceptable thing. Your friend, you know, is thinking of you. So that's not math. Reading,
not in the
science,
books,
right? But it's still things that they have to learn. Is building character. So
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I always thought of you as, not just because you're my sister, but I always thought of you as a dope teacher.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, you really.
Okay.
I remember when we used to teach youth group together, right? And you actually started doing youth group first. And I remember when you was with Mr. Booth.
Oh, yeah, I was.
And then when I became a youth group leader and we were doing it together, you always had all of those. And I think that's where I get a lot of my workshop techniques from. Like when everyone, you know, like all the things that you guys see me do, like I learned that from you.
Oh,
all of the craftiness.
Okay.
Because she always made it fun. Again, hello, the lady that stands on her head.
Right,
you know?
right.
She will always, you know, do little different things like the ball exercise that I do, the juggle. I got that from her. People don't know that.
Okay.
They be giving me credit. I mean, I take it, but you know, like, but I got that from her. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so all of those different things to be able to help us to be able to stay relevant. So, and you knew what you wanted to do long before I even figured out. And I used to be so envious of that. I used to be like, well, what is I'm going to do with my
What I'm going to do, right?
What am I going to do? You know, so I've always been inspired by you.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's definitely a calling, like I said, especially 20 years, because I'd have been left.
That is something.
You know what I'm saying? Because
I had
kids
no
would have
idea.
drilled me in the
Wow.
wall. You know what I'm saying? It takes a certain person to be able to teach and deal with children, because not only are they challenging, you know, the rewards of teachers is so low, and they're not valued like they should, and it's commendable. You mentioned something about how you had to like explain, like you can't give away certain things, and it's like that brings us back into like, what are the parents teaching these children, and the responsibilities that the teachers have that the parents should be having. You know,
it's tough. It is tough. Like I said, everybody's household is not the same. You know, so it kind of leaves, and like you don't know. You're not like doing like a checklist. Like, you don't do this at home. You don't. As you get to know the kids, you start to see, you know, their personalities and the kind of things that they probably get away with at home. And you have to let them know that it's not acceptable in your space in the classroom. I always feel like my classroom is my space. So I have rules. This year I gave up rules. No rules in my classroom, but I have expectations. My students know what I expect from them, and I expect them to do it, you know. So it was actually last year when I started that no classroom rules. But you see the things that they could do at home, and then they try to do it in class. And it's like, no, we don't do that. So after a while, they start to, and you talk to parents, they're like, they do that there? They don't do that at home, you know, kind of thing. You know, and it could go both ways. It could go both ways.
They said that.
Yeah, right.
Right. Parent.
Right. No. But it's like I have, and Tawanda would tell me this too. Every year I get a student that needs me beyond the classroom. And if you don't have the heart for it, because teaching is not, it is hard, but it's hard work, right? So if your heart isn't in it, that's why you see people come and go from, you know, education. But if your heart isn't in it, you're not going to stay. And this year I have this little boy. I love him to death. He's so challenging. He challenges me every day. But yesterday I saw it took September, October, November, December, January. It took all the way from September to yesterday, you know. Like, I've seen little things, but yesterday is one of the things that really got me. So this little boy will, he goes out, like I ain't doing that. Like, I ain't doing that. You do it. I ain't going to do that. Like, he just, but I realized a lot of it he can't control. So I have to be extra patient with him. I've had to talk to the rest of the class for them to know that the behaviors are not acceptable. You may see it. Don't think that that's something that you should be doing. So I have to constantly create that communication and that community with, the whole class. But I told him, I said, if you keep disrupting my teaching, I'm going to have to keep you for lunch. Usually when I do that to him, like, I ain't staying with you. I ain't staying in here. Like, he would literally try to fight me to leave the room. But yesterday, I kept warning him. I said, if you keep it up, you're going to stay with me. Got to the point, like, after the 8th warning, I said, okay, you're going to have to stay with me now. He stopped. He looked. I said, okay. Everybody's lining up. I looked over there. He's like this at his desk. He said, "You're not gonna call me to line up?" I said, "No." I said, "I already told you that you were gonna have to stay with me if you didn't get it together." He got up, went and got his lunch from his cubby, sat down and ate. I said, "Oh my God!"
Wow.
I said, "He finally got it. He got it." I think now he's to the point where he's understanding there are consequences or rewards for my behavior. And that's what I need him to understand. So regardless of what happens at home or the things that go wherever else, I need to make sure he knows in my classroom that these are the things that happen. Teachers deal with a lot of stuff. Like, that's just one child, You get some classrooms that have a couple in the classroom, But it's so funny, I called his mom because that's one thing I'm really big about is whenever I do something in the classroom, letting the parent know. I don't want anything to ever be like, well, I didn't know he did that, or I didn't know you did that, or you said that.
That's
so,
good.
I called her. Right. Exactly.
And they should be involved anyway.
Right.
Yeah,
and I think that they should know. So sometimes, when mom comes, I'll come running down the hall and she's like, what you do? Kind of thing. Right. And a lot of times I try to make sure that I'm not just giving bad news. I also want to give good news. So sometimes when she says that, I'm like, it's nothing bad. I just wanted to tell you he had an awesome day today. Oh, thank you.
Wow.
So I called her last night. She answered, right? She's like, what'd he do?
What'd he do?
I said, Mom, he didn't do anything. I said, but I wanted to show you his progress. I wanted to tell you what happened today just so you can see that he is making progress. And, I did tell her too, there's students that I had that I keep relationships with them outside of school after they leave me. I just went to a wedding of one of my students.
Wow. Okay.
I just went to a wedding.
Wow.
It was right after my sister in February, and it was kind of cloudy,
Crazy.
but I didn't want to let her down by not going. So I went, but I was like, I pulled up a picture and showed her family when she was in first grade in my classroom.
Wow.
And, I showed them. Wow. So it's a beautiful thing, even to be in touch with them even after, they leave. And he is one that I really want to make sure that I kind of have contact with him. And I want to make sure Mom, if she needs me for anything, what resources to kind of help her and guide her through. Because he's a bright kid. I honestly believe he's going to be like an engineer or something. He loves to sketch out buildings.
Oh, wow.
He's 7 years old. Wow. He's showing me the conveyor belt that does this and that. He's bright. Wow. Bright. Sometimes, even as adults, we need people around us that pull out things in us that it's kind of like what you do. But I do it for little kids. Okay.
For the babies, right?
I do it for the 6 and 7-year-olds, right?
I love that.
So
they don't have to get
right. Hopefully they don't have to come to
as a matter
you.
of fact, yes. So you can prevent them from coming to me, right?
That's exactly what it feels like.
Look at that.
Trying to find it because, even he was always talking about compost. I'm like, compost. I just think about his old food in the bin in it. I looked it up. I found a little compost bin. He loves this compost bin. He got the class into it. When they have snacks, they put their apple cores in there, the orange peels. Wow. They've been putting stuff in there. But it's like when you see that thing, you don't want him to feel like I'm not like everybody else. I wanted him to lead that compost thing so everybody, can see he's in charge of that. He's letting us know what to do. He's the expert, when we see something, we have to shine a light on it for others. And even in kids, you know.
Do you think like you're parenting the parents or like helping them parent? Because some of the things you were saying just now, I hope, the listeners are listening. Like some of this they can be doing.
They can
help their child.
And now, you know what's funny? I'm not making excuses for parents. Sometimes life get a hold of people, and sometimes just waking up and getting them dressed for school is a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, so when they come home, it's kind of like, I can't even do it. You know, in a perfect world, everybody would parent their children and do the right thing and make sure they eat and make sure they have clean clothes and they're not hearing and seeing things that they should in a perfect world. But that's not our reality. Right. You know, they hear these things, they see it, they don't come, well put together all the time and things like that. So when things like that happen, I try to make sure my relationship with my parents, that it's, I always tell them, number one, yes, I'm your child's teacher, but I want you guys to talk to me. I don't care what, if your child comes home and say something and you're like, what is going on in that classroom? I said, please reach out to me. I owe it to my parents to let them know everything that's going on. You know, I never, as a parent, I don't want my child in the classroom like, what's going on in there? You know, I'm a parent first, so I know. So you have to build a relationship with the parents. I won't think of it as parenting the parents. Some of them are new parents. I happen to be an old parent. Not an old parent. not to mention, first of all, how you 17 and you a grandmother. Okay. Whole grandma. Right? Or should I say a grandma? Grandma. I like grandma. And Milan thinks she's slick. Call me Grammy. Don't you do that. What's wrong with you? But I think it's more so kind of helping them. When I don't want to say parenting the parents, but you may be guiding them or helping them and putting them in the right direction for something because they just don't know. They don't know. Like, this is my first kid, or, I'm barely making it. My mother helps me, and, that kind of thing. So you're kind of guiding them, well, you can do this. And I try to give them little things that they can do to help their children. But
or you have a challenging child. And you don't really know what to do with them, because all the things that I'm listening to you say, that's not norm for teachers. A lot of teachers do not do that. So I don't want us to be making a mistake of being like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what teachers do. No, all teachers do not do that. I can tell you all teachers don't do that. And honestly, some punch in, they teach. If you listen, you listen. If you don't, you don't. And then they punch out. But like I said, it's hard work. And if you're really in it because of the kids, then you'll do it. You'll go out of your way to do what you need to do for them. But everybody's not doing that. Everybody's not doing that. And it's not to toot my horn, but this is how I feel successful as an educator, how I can reach my children, how I can reach their families, because that's the most important part. And you run into stuff. You run into situations and family issues that like you get them, like they are burdensome. Like last year I had a student, they were living in a shelter, and I would have never known that, not even from the student. The mom told me. So then it became, now I'm like, do I find like some place that can help her? Now I'm doing other things, you know what I mean, trying to find ways to, so it's like, what do I do as an educator? Because the kids coming in your classroom, their minds need to be, they're not going to hear anything you're saying or anything if they're worried about other things, if they're hungry, if they're stressed out about mommy or whatever the case may be. So we run into a lot of things. You can either say, that ain't my fight, and just do what it is that you're doing, or you can like really help the kid and their family with what you can. I'm not saying I have all the resources, I don't. But if I can point you in the right direction to it, then I can do that. Like, what is that?
Because you're developing the relationships with them anyway. You're there with them, so you see it. You may even know about things before their parents that are bothering them. You know what I mean? Because they'll open up to you.
They'll talk to me. Right. They do talk to me. I have parents that reach out to me and say, so-and-so did this at home. Can you talk to them? I'm like, I'm like, okay, I'll talk to them. But you know what's funny? Their kids talk to me.
Right.
They talk to me and they'll tell me. So I call it that homeschool connection. So like, it was a situation, a little boy giving his mom a hard time in the morning to get up and come to school. Mom let me know. I said, okay. She called me in the morning. I missed a call. So I'm like, the next day I'll call at that time to see. So answered the phone. I called her and she was like, yeah, you can speak to him now. I just woke him up. And he was like, you could hear him stop crying, right? Gets on the phone. Yes, Miss Valmont. I said, you're not giving mommy a hard time, are you? No. I said, all right, I'll see you in school. I have your quiz. I graded his quiz. I said, I'll make a copy. You could show dad and all this. You know, just he got it together. So now I do dojo points in the classroom. The deal that I made with him is if he wakes up in the morning and doesn't give mommy a problem, he gets 5 dojo points every morning. So now he comes in.
Okay.
I said, what did you do? Right. Did you do okay this morning? Yeah. I said, mommy's going to tell me? Yeah. Mom texted me this morning and said he did a good job. She said he was excellent this morning. But that's us working together. Yeah. You know, that's us working together. Me talking to her, her talking to me, and, you know, seeing what we can do for him. You know? So, and he comes in like... Yesterday wasn't so good, but he said, I did good. When I spoke to his mom today, again, I'm talking to parents. She said, he told me don't tell you that he...
Oh, wow.
I said, so wait a minute. Right? He didn't have a good day yesterday? So I said, I'm taking them points back. I took them off, and I talked to him. I did let him know that mommy told me, she said that you told not to tell me. You know, but the kids know, and they know when I correct them, I do everything in love. Yeah. You know, correction is in love. We should be correcting each other in love. Right. You know, and I don't care how old the person is that you are, you know, correcting or whatever the case may be. I had a little girl, I could tell she was shocked the other day. I have an aide in my room. She bought stickers for the kids. One of the packs of stickers went missing. So, and this is a lesson.
I know, right?
Went
it
missing.
Disappeared.
But then you start seeing the little stickers around, right?
Oh, okay. The evidence appeared.
Right.
Yes.
So, again, I reached out to mom and I asked, do they have, you know, did she have stickers like that? And she said, yeah, oh, she had them. I thought the little girl took the stickers from the classroom. I said, okay, as soon as she comes in the morning, I owe her an apology. I'll apologize.
Oh, okay.
As soon as the little girl walked in, I said, can I talk to you for a second? She came over. I said, I thought you took the stickers from the classroom. I apologize. She said,
Wow.
And that goes to show, you know, even as adults, when we're wrong, don't take that apology even though they're a kid. If you owe an apology, give them an apology. You know? And she said, after that, she said, it's okay, Ms.
It's
Valmont.
okay.
It's okay. You know, but, you know, I love teaching 6 and 7-year-olds. I've gone up to 4th grade. That's too much, but they about my size, you know.
That's the challenge.
They're about my size. I can't, but I prefer 1st grade. You know, I love the 1st graders. It's a lot of work because they're getting a lot of foundation, you know, to get ready for school, learning how to read and all of that kind of stuff. So it's a lot on me, but I love being able to see them get it. You know, it's so funny because when you said that I knew what I wanted to be a long time ago, I thought I wanted to be a nurse, right?
Wow.
So,
okay.
And when I started college, my major was nursing. But God showed me different, that's not what I was supposed to be. And I don't know if you remember that time we went in Target. And it was like it was a residential place. I guess adults with needs. They were in Target. They were doing their little shopping and everything. And one of the guys came up to me. He just started talking. I don't know if I think you were walking, but then you came over. He just started talking, going on and on and on and on. And I'm like, and I'm talking back to him. And the lady that he was with, I guess she was looking for him. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He doesn't talk. I'm like, he doesn't talk. He doesn't talk. I don't know why. I said, it's okay. Just, you know, let him just talk. It's fine. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. no, I said, it's okay. And I just let him talk. From that showed me that he, in his innocence, with his, because I think he had Down syndrome. I always believed that they have an innocence about them. You know what I mean? And everything is just so pure and natural. Like, they just see people. You know what I mean? Right. So the fact that he came up to me and he just started talking, I was like, whoa. Like, what do you see in me that made you want to talk to me? I left out of there crying. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
You know, because it just did something to me. And I was like, maybe, you know, it's something that for me to teach. And then I did stuff in church with the little kids and stuff like that, and God just showed me I was supposed to be a teacher.
Hats off to teachers in general, because the patience, I know that could never have been one of my, I never even thought about it. Okay, I'm going to be honest. As a matter of fact,
I never even thought about it.
You know what? My children are 13 years apart. I remember being on PTA for my daughter, grew up through high school practically. And my mother said, you did that for her. You need to do it for your son too. And I was like, I don't know how she told me to do. By the time we got to project graduation, where I was actually involved with on the committee in Montclair High, I was like, when they call his name to get up there for that diploma, I'm getting up there, okay? Because I put in the work. Never mind him. But the teachers, what I saw with the teachers, and what I also saw with parents that really just did not care, okay, until you got to that point where they brought home their report cards and it said you were graduating or you weren't graduating. That's when the school, I saw parents that I never saw. I was like, now, where were you guys when we had these PTA meetings? I was like, nowhere to be found. But hats off to teachers. What is Teachers Appreciation Day? May 7th? It's Tuesday, May 7th.
Look,
okay, there you go.
Know.
Yes. Okay.
So let it be known, right?
Yes.
But you know what? Not for nothing. Let's flip it on the parent side, right? Because it's so interesting, because both of us have children that are 13 years apart. Yeah, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so what you do with your first one is totally different than the second one. By the time you get to the second one, it's just like,
well, I know I'm speaking for myself.
I'm speaking for myself, too. And I think it shows.
Yes, it does.
Because, child, Kayla was tired. I mean, Kayla was parented by tired Tawanda. Okay? And it's very challenging.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
like, you do. So on the flip side of it, I can understand, when it's like parents sometimes check out. Because it's like you do all that you could do just to even get them to school. When they when they said Kayla was graduating, I was like, Kayla McKeecher? Okay. You sure? I'm like, okay, well, I'll be there.
She met all the requirements.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I will be there. Yeah. But there was at one point where the teacher had called me, and mind you, she was a senior.
Wow.
I'm still getting calls. This girl's a senior, right? I said, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
I've done the best that I can do, right? I said, I've told her, Kayla's going to make her own choices. Yeah. So at this particular point, I said her choices has to be her consequences, and she just has to learn that way. I said, so if you have to fail her and she didn't I said, that's her choice. I said, because so I understand. So on the flip side of it, I hear stories from you because, of course, we talk, about students and stuff. But on the flip side of it, for the parents, sometimes parents do the best that they know how to do. Yeah. And it's teachers like you that you have to be able to give parents grace and work with them and to know, because like you said, not all teachers are that way.
No.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine going home to some kids after I'm finished.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? Yeah. That's the other part of it.
Some kids.
Wow.
I'm going to be
Not
honest.
8 kids. She said some kids.
Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I couldn't imagine me having to come home. Then I have to cook, do homework. bathe them, check up on their day, check up on their heart, their minds,
and be fully vested in them.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I just want to come home to my cat. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
right.
And just relax.
Yeah, and if you want to cook, you don't have to, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
I know.
No,
but to be honest with you, my first job was at a daycare center. I worked at 3 daycare centers. A lot of people don't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
My first job I ever had was a daycare center.
Okay.
And I worked in 3 different ones. The last one I worked at was NJIT's daycare center. Like, they have it on site. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
It was rough.
It was rough.
Daycare, they were younger, right?
I can't say they were 4.
Right.
Maybe they were old enough to know what no is, what yes is, that you can't do this, you can't do that, sit down, don't touch that. They knew all of that.
Right.
And it was challenging because you would see them picking up the toys. It'd be Lego. Hello.
Okay.
I'm not. like that's a
Not
Lego.
the tantrum.
Right. And like all the toys away, and then here goes this one kid. He wants to play with that toy.
God.
You can't play with that toy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had to constantly keep telling him you can't play with that toy. Play with that toy. Let me tell you something. His parent came because I put him on timeout. Why is my child on timeout?
Because he put him on.
I said because he would not stop touching those toys. Well, you need to put him away then. They need to be somewhere he can't get to them. And it's like, no, he needs to know that he can't do everything. So after that was the end of my career.
Yeah, I know, right? I know I couldn't do it.
Not the end of her career.
For me.
That was the end of childcare for me.
Wow.
But it's crazy because I love kids. I love babies. Like the first one was babies. You know, like keep me with the babies. Once they start picking up Legos and they don't talking on the phone with the Legos, I'm like, no, but kudos to educators and parents. It is a lot.
It's a lot.
And patience.
It is a lot. And it's like a lot goes on in both worlds, because behind the scenes at home it's a lot, then at school it's a lot, and it's like as parents it's like sometimes you're doing just enough even to keep your sanity. That's like you said, you're going to work, then you have to prepare dinner, you have to do, like I remember my husband, Caleb was probably like in the 4th, 5th grade or whatever. He used to do Caleb's homework.
Wow.
Just so it get done.
Just so that just to keep the peace and stop her tantrums and he's like, I'm tired, and I would come home and I'm fussing. I'm like, I swear we almost got a divorce over Kayla and her homework and everything. And I'm like, babe, you cannot keep doing her homework.
Yeah.
Like, well, first of all, you ain't here, and so this girl, and I'm just like, Lord, I'm just like, Lord.
He says it's easier. I just do it.
And I'm looking, I'm like, wow, she didn't do that. He like, whatever. Like, whatever.
I would have been good with it. Is it right?
No.
Okay.
At least make it right.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so FYI, so when you guys hear all the horror stories about Kayla, you see why. Okay? Now you understand why. Okay.
Wow.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, but this was really, really good. Do you have any sage words of advice or anything you want to leave us with in terms of just anything that you could say to encourage a parent's heart, as well as also to teachers too, because like we said, not every teacher was like you.
Yeah, I can say it as an educator to parents, or just as a person to any other person. We all need a little extra grace.
Yes.
You know, we never know what people are going through, and sometimes we may just need to just give a little more, and that's that grace that they need. You know, so whatever it may be, just go that extra inch, because that's sometimes all that they need. They go off on you, that may not necessarily be. It's not really you. It could be other things going on. So I've learned to not take things personal. Just, and to my educator friends, sometimes we take things home, that weigh on us. Don't just drop it off or try to get rid of it. It's nudging at you for a reason. Just do whatever you can to help that child or that family, whatever it may be. So, just go that extra step. Give that little grace, help them out. Don't just leave them hanging in limbo and expect somebody else to do it. It's nudging at you for a reason.
Yeah. Thank you for the work that you do.
Yes.
You know, even those, like you said, the extra mile. Because I've seen you go the extra mile. Yeah. Like, we've taken kids to the zoo.
Yes.
And on trips. And she's brought kids home and stuff like that.
Tawana became auntie to them.
Exactly.
Year after year after year.
Wow. So, and she's been on this journey for a long time. So, to just see it manifest and to see the woman that you've grown into, and I see your career going higher, you know, for you being able to do more, and not just on the teacher side, but there may be a level of this to where as though you may even be able to train the trainer, teach the teacher. You know, because there's a level of the education and, like you said, the books and the elementary and all of those different things. But then there's another side of it that needs to be put into place because this world is crazy.
We need it.
Okay, and so if we can all work together and, like you said, with that grace, I think that'll take us a long way.
Yeah.
So we appreciate your time.
Yes.
Ladies, you guys have anything?
Great. Thank you, Nicole. I've known you for some years. You are such a light.
Oh, thank
you are such a light for God and for those children.
Thank you.
And I don't know why I'm getting emotional. No, you know I love you. Like from day one, we all clicked, and
the Jones sisters,
the Jones sisters,
the original Jones girls.
You know, it really. You can really impact a child's life, you know, because I've had teachers that impacted me. Like, I got my favorite teacher, and, you know, it was a white Jewish lady, and she loved me, you know, and she made an impact in my life. So I know you're doing that for the children. And, you know, may God continue to give you that peace and strength and wisdom and vision and direction to impact those children. In Jesus' name,
amen.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
I receive it.
Amen. April, you have anything?
Just appreciate teachers in general, and hats off to you. And Teachers Appreciation Day, listeners, is May 7th. I believe it's on a Tuesday.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Well, this has been another episode of The Queendom
State of Mind.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Queendom State of Mind podcast.
If you're enjoying the show, leave a review, like, share, and subscribe.
And follow us on social media at Queendom SOM. I hope none of that is coming